So, after Ballistics came Bionic Phoenix Rising. Tell us about that game.
It was the first adventure game. It was a kind of a racing game, but also an action game. It was about two guys in a car in an apocalyptic world that was running around and shooting shit up, basically. It was just blowing everything sky high.
So, a real deep story?
Really deep story, yeah. No, it was more like an action comedy, and it actually delivered. It was so much fun to work with. We had about 26 levels or something like that. It's pretty huge at the time. So this was released like in 2003, I think. So big game for the time, and we got to do exactly what we wanted. We were working together with Panvision, which was like a Scandinavian publisher. But we got full control. It was our own IP, fantastic to work with. Had so much fun during that production. It was released on PC worldwide. We did a lot of PR ourselves, which was fantastic, and we learned a lot about the industry that way. So, amazing title.
What happened then? Because then it was a bit quiet about Grin.
Yeah, it was good old 2003, 2004. It was a fucking hard time for everybody, I guess, in the industry, and we're happy we survived it. But the way it started was we signed a game to a fighting game actually called Vultures that were our own IP as well, and we signed it with a publisher out of Germany, and they were great to work with, and we had a lot of fun. We explored many different fighting mechanics and actually did one of the first normal mapped game on the Xbox ever. So it was also pushing technology. We actually bought a motion capture system that we had in-house, and learned all about that and character animation. Made a gory game. It was blood everywhere. You could see like your stomach spill out on the floor, and we went all the way with it, even though it was a publisher out of Germany. But, recession hit the industry, and publishers was kind of, running out of money, and the stock market was, plummeting. Everything was going to, the shitter, basically. And the publisher pulled almost all their projects but one. So our project got pulled when it was 80% done, which was kind of tough for you. We've been working like 24/7 for 2 years with this game. So they pulled it. We got, after long negotiations, we got the IP back, and we're starting to pitch it to other publishers and making tech demos at the same time, trying to get it on the road again. And it's it's like making a music album and not getting it out there. It's very, very tough for your creativity. But then light struck us from France, and we switched from Vultures to Ghost Recon, and that was a fantastic turn for the company. I think just because we survived this very tough time, we went with no salaries and took loans, and just struggled through and survived that time, made us so much stronger. And when we came in doing Ghost Recon, we did it with all our hearts and souls. So it was educational.
So I gotta ask, since you're doing a downloadable game now with Bionic Commando Rearmed, like, have you entertained the thought of maybe doing Vultures as a downloadable game?
Ooh, yeah, sure. If I had the time, man, I'm so busy, and all my 195 guys are quite busy as well. No, we've been thinking of it. Obviously, obviously you need to bump up the graphics a bit and ramp up the violence. Nah. But yeah, we've been thinking about it, but so far we're busy with Bionic. We're putting all our hearts into that, and we have several other projects lined up. So Vultures is sleeping at the moment. Sound.
I heard something about another project that you were doing at the same time. Could you tell us anything about that?
Oh, we made a prototype of a first-person shooter called Unknown, and I think it's unknown to most people. It was a kind of a very fast-paced sci-fi shooter where you were running through a underwater world with a submarine, actually. It had a very interesting menu system that actually, when you flipped the menu, it played music, much like what's that game? BioShock. Yeah, I've seen that. It's very similar. We pitched it to a lot of publishers, and lots of interest. But when Ghost Recon came around, you don't turn down Tom Clancy, so we just went for it.
So after the dark years, in came Ubisoft and swept you off your feet. How was that like?
Well, that was fantastic. I still remember the day when a guy called Fabrice called me up and said, you know, after looking at you for a few years now, because we've been talking with him for years, we got a brand for you. I was like, okay. I was expecting something small, obviously. He said, like, you know, it's a Tom Clancy game. I'll call you tomorrow. I was like, did he say Tom Clancy? I didn't really catch that. So I went to my brother like, I think Ubisoft got a Tom Clancy game for us. He was like, no, fuck, no, come on. They're just kidding around, right? And he called me the other day and said like, yeah, you know, it's Ghost Recon. Do you want to do it? I was like, no, let me think about that. Yeah, okay. So now it was fantastic. It turned the whole tide, and the company just went, you know, ape shit after that. We went totally crazy. So it was great 2.5 years working with Ubisoft, doing Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 1 and 2. And it taught us so much about how to do games, and what to do, what not to do, and how to organize ourselves, and how to make fun, you know. It was a huge production. And
so how was the control, and like what kind of... Because I can imagine that it's quite different from moving like a game like Bandits, where you have full control to Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
Yeah, well, it's a learning thing. I mean, most developers say like, you know, the publisher comes in and want to control and blah blah blah, but it's all about working together. You know, it's all about, you know, tuning both the organizations to work together and make the best result. And I think we really found a good match between us and Ubisoft. It was tough, man. We had to change our ways, but that's how you survive and that's how you excel, right? So it was fantastic. Without Ghost Recon, we wouldn't be doing Bionic Commando today. So all thanks to Ubisoft.
So would you want to do another Ghost Recon if ever the opportunity came?
Yeah, give me a few years. No, I mean, I love the genre, and I love playing games like that. So definitely, yeah, I would go in there again.